presentation was paid for by CGTN. The opinions, views, and claims expressed are those of CGTN and may not necessarily reflect those of CNBC.
Economy, innovation, culture, exploration. Discover the vibrant pulse of China's economy and dive into the rich tapestry of its culture. Embark on a journey of exploration with Meet China. Here, your journey begins.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Meet China. I'm Lily Lu. This is where we take you on a captivating journey across China's panorama. We're coming to you from Wuxi in East China's Jiangsu province. Nestled on the beautiful Taihu Lake, the city blends its modern marvels with timeless architectures. And in today's Meet China, we take you to explore how automation empowers logistics and the modern transformation of a Chinese cultural heritage. Now, from the highways of China, autonomous trucks are not just a concept, but becoming a reality. With their cutting-edge technology and impressive results, they're rewriting the rules of the logistics industry, empowering mobilities in ways we've never dreamed of before. If you place an order online in China, you might be amazed with the speedy delivery.
In a typical case, a package I ordered ended up on my doorstep just 15 hours after leaving a city that was over 1,300 kilometers away.
With the world's largest logistics market and 70% of the freight transport happens on roads, I wonder how's China's technological progress adding power to line-haul logistics?
So this brings me here, at a bustling highway service station, where heavy-duty trucks dominate the scene. Here, I'm about to meet a true veteran of the road. Mr. Guo, a truck driver with over 2 decades of experience, now benefits from tremendous improvements in his working conditions thanks to the world's first mass-produced autonomous driving system installed in his truck.
这个智能驾驶比之前那个手动挡人呢感觉轻松好多了。
Autonomous driving is so relieving compared with manual driving. I no longer have to keep my foot on brake and hand on stick. It's also fuel saving.
比之前那个手动挡的车子那个要省油好多了。
So this is the trucking legend, featuring LiDAR, radar, and cameras.
And they are like the extended eyes of the truck, providing essential information. For instance, there are cameras on the top front of the truck, and they can detect images of up to 1 kilometer away. Why so far? Because it is essential for heavy-duty trucks to have longer braking distance due to their weight. Also, on the side, there are LiDARs to cover those blind spots, ensuring safety on the road.
Now it's time for me to experience this remarkable vehicle firsthand.
Sorry, only one passenger seat. I see you next stop. Okay.
现在可以智能驾驶了。
So how do you switch to auto driving?
It's easy. Just press this button, press once.
As we hit the highways, Mr. Guo switched to the autopilot and relaxed his legs.
Now my legs are free.
What about hands?
I can put one hand on the wheel just like this.
But before these advancements become a reality, they were born in a virtual world. I find myself in a cockpit simulator, sitting beside Julian Ma, the man behind the wheel. The simulators are just part of the efforts to generate a database that is fundamental for research and development at Inceptio Technology. Mr. Ma told me that his firm has rolled out the industry's first mass-produced Level 3 autonomous trucks.
On average, this technology can achieve a saving on the per mile basis of between 5 to 7%. This is a huge number. We all know that logistics is a very cost-sensitive industry.
Right.
Even 1% is very hard to achieve in terms of savings. Our trucks has been used by a large number of well-known express companies, for example, SF Express and JD Logistics and GTO, STO, etc.
We've run 25 million kilometers on automotive trucks, so far with 0 accidents. As for efficiency, on routes under 1,000 kilometers, we can reduce driver-to-truck ratio from 2 to 1.
And that's accompanied with a reduction of fuel consumption and risks on roads. Furthermore, line haul drivers experience notable relief from fatigue. Some individual operators have also seen increases of monthly mileage and income. With all that number crunch, I had to pay a visit to Inceptio's cloud data center.
目前我们现在在路上跑的一个车辆数的话是有893台。
Currently, there are 893 Inceptio-powered autonomous trucks running on China's roads. On average, more than 95% of the mileage was taken over by intelligent driving. Our trucks have covered 85% of all of China's expressways. Once signs of fatigue or rule violations are spotted, the system can send timely reminders or warnings to drivers. For autonomous driving, safety is top priority. In less than 3 years, Inceptio has surpassed the significant milestone of 100 million kilometers in safe commercial operations. That puts us in a global leadership position.
But the significance of these advancements goes beyond mere statistics, according to experts.
As the average age of drivers increases, autonomous driving can help car companies solve part of the driver shortage. This is helpful to the sustainable development of the logistics industry, which requires a combination of extensive technology and data. We get rich data from China's complex logistics environment and diverse operational scenarios, and from simulation as well. In this perspective, China is at a relatively leading position in terms of intelligent driving technology.
And China's progress is not just made in vehicles, but also in policies, laws, technologies, and infrastructure. For instance, last September, East China's Jiangsu province built China's first intelligent expressway that supports vehicle-road cooperation autonomous driving at level 4 automation. On a trial run in May this year, a fully loaded hydrogen-powered autonomous truck traveled from Beijing to the port of Tianjin. The entire journey was completed without any manual intervention. The process that intelligent trucks become ultimately driverless is a gradual one, Mr. Ma says. However, China's concerted efforts on multiple fronts are providing domestic tech firms greater room for development in this space.
We are thinking of international markets now because we actually are receiving the inquiries from customers outside of China. Our technology here and the availability of the truck models is much more advanced than outside of China, and that data assets helps us to understand the very unusual, very challenging use cases and the driving scenarios, and that would translate to actually a longer-term advantage for our AI algorithms.
Undoubtedly, data holds immense value. But CEO Ma wants to make sure that number is not cold.
We have a year-long sort of initiative which is called Making Friends with the Driver.
Okay.
Each of our engineers needs to ride together with the driver on the real road trip on a regular basis. Experiencing our performance on the real road is way different from just looking at the data and the moments in front of the computer screen. That is a real sort of boost for making a better products and also have a sort of direct sort of connection with our products and with our customers and drivers.
So that data has a human touch.
Has a human touch, yes.
see, that offers us a sneak peek into the future of logistics, doesn't it? And the next story brings the past to the present. You may know that China has abundant cultural and artistic legacies. Today, we will meet a Mr. Miao Yichuan, an inheritor of colored stone inlay. This is an art form with thousands of years of history and a true treasure of China's intangible cultural heritage. Now, let's find out how Mr. Miao breathed this new life into its timeless elegance.
Some say happiness is like a butterfly. When you want to catch it, it flies away. But if you sit somewhere quietly, it may alight on your shoulder. Transformed from stones instead of emerging from cocoons, these butterflies will fly and rest in the memories of the viewers.
It's my first time to get to know about stone inlay art, and the exhibition is pretty impressive. I'll probably be interested in it. It's fun.
I really like those butterflies. It's a perfect internet famous site for girls to take photos. A totally different style of art show.
The exhibition is called Su Hua. I have to admit I've never seen the character Su before. It looks like Yu, which means jade in English. And when the dot in Yu moves upward in Su, it means imperfect jade. It's a rarely used Chinese character. Hua means transformation or change. Miao Yichuan, a fourth-generation inheritor of colored stone inlay, explains more.
Stones, including jade, are not perfect. Here it also indicates anything or anybody imperfect. But we give these imperfect stones a kind of power of soul. So we titled the exhibition Su, hoping to deliver a message of transforming something imperfect into something as beautiful as we could make. And that's why Hua, the transformation, matters.
Transformation is part of Chinese philosophy. One of the oldest Chinese classics, the I Ching, is usually translated as the Book of Changes. It deals with change and transformation. Stone inlay dates back more than 1,000 years to the Tang Dynasty. 51-year-old Miao Yichuan has been developing the ancient techniques for 15 years. His focus is on transforming this traditional art into something as part of our modern life.
The beauty of the show meets the aesthetic needs of young people. That's why there are so many of them coming to visit. The show is about a concept, the concept of the art of colored stone inlay. And the so-called concept is the future. If young people did not like this future, it would only indicate that we had made a feudal match.
Colored stone inlay used to be called gemstone inlay, since all those artworks were made for royal families only. The technique is a very hands-on way to set colored marble or semi-precious stones into a wood or stone base, often in different patterns. The craft combines the skills of stone carving, wood carving, and embossment. It was listed as a National Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2008, though it didn't originate in the city of Wenzhou.
The history of colored stone inlay in Wenzhou originated from the relocation of the capital during the late Northern Song Dynasty. As the provisional capital, Wenzhou was also an economically and politically active city at that time. So a large number of noble families and craftsmen came to Wenzhou from all over the country.
And those newcomers influenced their local counterparts, including the Miao family. Miao's father, Miao Chengjing, is the third-generation inheritor. The 80-year-old has been at his craft for over 6 decades. He still works with his son and his younger students today, which spurred the old master's own transformation of concept.
Traditionally, it is a combination of stone and wood. The stones are embedded in the wooden layout, and the quality and surface of the wood plate is very exquisite. But Miao Yuchuan embedded stones in cement slabs, and it is difficult for our generation to understand these aesthetic concepts of people today. When we look at the cement board, we have a rough concept of cement board. I didn't approve much. I didn't approve of it at all. It turned out that the artwork is very popular. Feedback is good, and there is also a big market.
Market demand, craftsmanship, and raw materials are the essential elements of any form of art that can be passed down for thousands of years. For me, cutting and polishing stones as well as setting them in wood or cement plates, this combination or experimentation is a good metaphor indicating the importance of transformation of ideas and even the courage to innovate. When it comes to who's the boss in the workshop, the younger Miao says father and son are their own man.
We work by ourselves. Sometimes when I'm not sure or too frustrated, I talk to my father. But sometimes I'd rather not go for help with my bold ideas. But he doesn't bother you. When you finish your work and ask him how it goes, he looks at it and saying, "This is really not bad."
And this is one of those pieces appreciated by the elder Miao.
This color is relatively simple. I mean that you were not so confused when selecting the colors of stones, were you?
No, it's entitled Autumn. The color of autumn is normally represented by the color red or yellow. So I wasn't confused about the colors, but really frustrated at the materials. I didn't tell my father, but he scolded me after seeing the finished piece. He said it's such a waste of materials. You use such a large amount of red stones in one artwork, and we don't have such huge reserves.
So this red stone is usually used only for a finishing touch, and you used it throughout one work, right?
Definitely. So I think you have to be bold when needed.
Did he like it?
He loved it, despite the redstone use, but still, he's fond of it.
With that encouragement from his father, Miao Yichuan became even bolder in building up a new kingdom of Chinese cultural heritage. Lu Xun, one of China's most famous writers, said, "There's no such a thing as a path. But when more people walk, the path is on their way." Miao Yichuan has set his very first step on his path of innovation, leading him to a whole new world where ancient craftsmanship meets contemporary art.
Other than the craftsmanship itself, there are other essential elements of traditional arts that can be passed down over time, like the supply of raw materials and market demand. Now, Mr. Miao's focus is on transforming it into something that's part of our lives.
Behind the hustle and bustle of the urban view, the city of Wenzhou had something quiet and unique to share with the world. Among 34 national cultural intangible heritages in the city, colored stone inlay has taken on a new look here in an exhibition called Su Hua, literally transformation in English. I met the artist and the cultural inheritor Miao Yichuan here and asked him how Chinese philosophy has influenced his cultural inheritance and his contemporary art. Can I touch your artwork?
Go ahead. You see this piece is convex, while these are concave, and here's even a broken one.
Was that deliberate?
No, it was broken during the processing.
You're quite different from other artists who pursue perfection in all their works, but you deliberately leave a flaw here.
No, it was broken during the processing. I think that's also providence, because when I polished the stone, there must have been an invisible crack in it. Then the crack was shattered during the processing. Normally, I'm supposed to discard it, but when I give it a second thought, this was Taoism. Since the Tao endures all things, I keep this different piece.
Miao likes the fine texture of cement, restrained with a low-profile temperament. Although cement is a man-made material, there is no lack of natural matter. In 2016, Miao started experimenting using cement plate instead of wood. Having studied mechanics in college enabled his artistic side to innovate. Miao transformed the processing tools, tested the stability of glue, and adjusted the thickness and hardness of the metal frame. After 6 years of constant trial and error, the artist showcased his creations in his hometown this spring.
This innovation has actually used some traditional techniques. We just had some breakthroughs in composition and in aesthetic aspects. I'm not quite sure whether people like it or not, but I think art must be forward-looking, so are trends.
First and foremost, you need an artistic eye to find the beauty in raw materials. For Miao, selecting the right stones is the first step in innovation. What's the pot for?
It's a magic tool for selecting stones. There is water in it. Natural stones look relatively gray. No matter whether its real color is red or green, it appears gray. But once you spray water on it, let me show you.
It's really beautiful. That's a big difference. Would you please spray it again? Selecting the right stones is an exacting process. The color, quality, luster, and hardness all to be considered. And in the end, only 10% of the stones selected are actually used. "15 years of living and working in Spain shaped Miao Yichuan's thinking into making intangible cultural heritage part of daily life. The key to passing on traditional techniques." Is this your design?
Yes, it is absolutely original. In fact, what I'm doing now is still carrying on the tradition of our ancestors' craftsmanship, decorating cupboards and closets with color stones. But now the idea is a bit different. Say we decorate contemporary and simple designs of custom-made furniture with color stones. Very elegant and simple, but they deliver a theme of this particular set of furniture.
The theme refers to the cultural inheritance and transformation. The craftsmanship is still there in his studio, and hopefully the ballet between men and stones continues.
My father is 80 years old, but he's still very creative. At least he's never against me, although sometimes he has no idea what I'm doing. When I'm really not sure about a creative idea, I'll talk about it with my father. But sometimes I'd rather not discuss it with him at all. Just do it.
Father and son go their separate ways, but their goals are parallel. Inheritance.
Almost every day I think about making something. I just want to help these young people establish a sense of doing things. That is, love what you take up and never be too old to learn. I think inlay is a good craft. It has been continuously done and passed on for hundreds of years. And it's a treasure of our country's intangible cultural heritage.
Young and old have been concentrating on this tradition for centuries. Each one told me that although his new technique has reached a relatively mature level, he continues to explore. His bold innovation and pioneering business models are expected to let colored stone inlays shine in more households around the world.
It is true that the ageless artistry of tradition is revitalized when it's woven into the tapestry of modern-day life. Well, that does it for the first episode of Meet China. In next week's episode,
we delve into the glittering world of synthetic diamonds produced in China, explore the attractions from delicacies to cultural blend on Gulangyu Island in southeast China's Fujian, and Chinese traditional weddings with centuries-old customs and rich cultural values.
Stay tuned for more to come on Meet China. I'm Lily Lu. I'll see you next week.
Discover the potential. Witness the opportunities. Experience dazzling exhibitions and captivating events. Explore groundbreaking innovations and future-shaping industries. Stand at the crossroads where the cities of tomorrow meet timeless traditions. Meet China, where every story is a new discovery.
This presentation was paid for by CGTN. The opinions, views, and claims expressed are those of CGTN and may not necessarily reflect those of CNBC.